Hey, I'm Haley B and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I share all about my healthy hair journey and regrowing my hair from having androgenic alopecia and getting PRP injections. I also share about my travels around the world. I'm recently pregnant, moved into a new house, so different details of my life, you can find them all on my channel. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button below. In my last video, I did an update as it has been 2 years since I first started PRP injections and the success I have had with growing new and healthy hair. Today, I'm going over all of the most frequently asked questions I get with answers. The first question I get asked the most is, do I use minoxidil? Have I used it ever? Am I currently using it? And the answer is no. I personally do not want to use minoxidil, and it is a last resort for me in life because with having androgenic alopecia, if I were to start minoxidil, I am sure I would have great results. However, you have to continue that for the rest of your life. It is something you have to apply every single night to your scalp, and I'm only 28 years old. I plan to live a very long time, and I am not trying to introduce something like that into my life this early in my life. Maybe when I'm like 70 years old, but for me, it just does not fit my lifestyle. And I want to regrow my hair in the most natural way possible. With PRP injections, it is your own blood, so it's a very natural way to regrow your hair. And I just don't want to set myself up that I have to rely on a product or I'm going to lose all of my new hair growth. So it's just not for me at this time. The next question I get asked is, does getting PRP injections hurt? And the answer is, duh, yes, it hurts. You are getting a needle stabbed into your scalp over and over and over and over again. It is so uncomfortable, but I am the type of person where if I am getting something out of the pain, I am okay with the pain. I can handle it and tolerate pain a lot better when there's something in it for me. If I just fall and stub my toe, I'm a crybaby. I will cry over stubbing my toe, but I know I'm gonna get new hair, so I'm like, bring the pain on. I can do it. The doctor that actually performed my PRP injections was really impressed with my pain tolerance. He said most of the time patients are jumping off the table, but that I just sat there and I just took it. They did give me numbing beforehand, which they injected into my head, so that was uncomfortable. I do think that helped some, but I could still feel the pain and pressure. And I would say the worst pain is when they wrapped my head. So if you all remember the place I go to, they wrapped my head after to kind of create a trauma to the scalp, and so that hurt so bad. I had to leave it on for 24 hours, and it just felt like somebody just had like a hammer just hitting the top of my head over and over again. So yeah, it definitely was not comfortable. My scalp bled the whole time. I would have tears going down my eyes, but I would just clench my fist and get through it because I wanted new and healthy hair. The next question I get asked is, how much does it cost? I have found that the price I paid is very normal in general. However, some people say that it's too expensive or they have found cheaper places. But I will just say that cheaper doesn't always mean better. So I was happy with the price I paid and I found it to be worth it. I paid around $900 per shot plus an additional $200 for an A-cell protein shot to just help give that hair some extra oomph and miracle grow in there. And so in total, I paid $1,100 per session. I had 3 sessions total. So I paid a total of $3,300 in a course of 3 months. But I did save up and make sure that I was financially stable before I started this process. However, some doctors take a care credit card, which is a just like any other credit card, but it's used for medical expenses. And I do believe that they offer some sort of 0% interest for a few months. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. Make sure you do your own research. Another question I get asked is, have I tried rosemary oil or rosemary water? And the answer is, no, I have not, but I really want to. In the beginning, I didn't really see a benefit to using it. I have used every product under the sun besides that, but I was thinking, I don't want to waste my time, I don't want to waste my money. which is why I just jumped into getting the PRP injections after years of hair loss and having no results. But there's recently been a study, and if I can find it, I will link it below, is that they gave half of a group of people minoxidil, and they gave the other half rosemary water or oil to use, and they both had the same hair growth results. So I'm really interested in that because rosemary is natural, so I wonder if it would still have the same effects of I would lose the new hair if I stopped using it. But it is a natural substance. I can make it at home for super cheap. So I'm much more comfortable trying that than minoxidil. So I do have plans to try a rosemary oil and water mixture, and specifically I'm going to target the temples of my head with it. And I can report back later on how that works out. Another question I get asked is, why did they wrap my head? Because it seems like nobody else has had this done except for the place that I went to. And what I was told is that they bandaged my head after the injections super tight for a few different reasons. One being that I wanted hair growth specifically on the top of my head. So by bandaging it, it kind of helped create a barrier so that way it couldn't move itself down my scalp or down my face and create hair growth places I did not need it. And also it was, like I mentioned before, to create a trauma so that way more blood rushes to the head and helps promote that PRP injections to get it working. And I will say it 100% got trauma and blood pumping to the top of my head because I looked like Jimmy Neutron with a giant head, and there was so much pressure up there. I am very happy that they did the binding the way they did because I think it works. The science makes sense to me. Another question I get asked is, how often do I get the PRP injections? So to start the treatment, you have to have 3 consecutive back-to-back 1 month apart. I've heard some people going 6 weeks apart, but I did 4 weeks apart each time, 3 treatments, and that kind of got me going. And I was told because I'm generally a healthy person that I could potentially go maybe 10 years without needing any maintenance. However, I found personally that I needed maintenance around the 1.5 year mark, and I'll continue to get maintenance 1 shot every 1.5 years or so, unless I find my hair changing. But as of right now, that's what it seems to be working for me. Lastly, a newer question I get asked is, do I think that the PRP injections caused my skin cancer? So if you watch my last video when I do a 1-year update after having PRP injections, I share with you that a few months after finishing up my injections, I found out that I had skin cancer on my scalp. I had it right here. You might be able to see the scar. Let's see if we can see that. It was right over here. And the answer is, no, I do not think that it caused my skin cancer, because the bump that I had on my scalp, I had had for like 5 years. And I just happened to have a yearly dermatologist visit shortly after finishing up my PRP injections. And I wanted to show her that I had this reoccurring pimple on my head, and we tested it, and it was basal cell carcinoma, which luckily for me is the slowest growing form of skin cancer. After basal cell, there is squamous, and then there is melanoma. So I had this for years before my injections. But I will say that I am nervous that I might have a reoccurrence of skin cancer on my scalp, because anytime you introduce blood flow to where there's cancer, it's going to create a healthy area or a healthy environment for more cancer to grow. So I don't know, I try not to think about it. If I would have known I had skin cancer, trust me, I would not have had the PRP injections. I would have got that taken care of first, but I didn't know. And at this point, I go every year to see my dermatologist. So I am proactive in getting my entire body, scalp, everywhere checked. So if we were to find it again, I would get taken care of quickly. But again, no, the PRP injections did not cause the skin cancer. It was there before. Overall, I am so happy that I had the injections done. It's been 2 years, and it's kind of like when people start exercising, they say they're going to start working out. They keep putting it off, but then once they finally do, they start losing weight and they feel better about themselves, and they say, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? That's kind of how I feel about my PRP injections. I wish I would have done it sooner. I had learned about it years before I began. I just not had the finances, and I'm sure some of you feel the same way, and so I totally understand that. But I'm glad I started when I did and I didn't put it off. The biggest things I'm focusing on in the meantime is making sure I still have a high protein diet. I prioritize scalp health and making sure the hair that I am growing is staying healthy, and just getting those PRP injections for maintenance when I think that I need them. I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe below. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at HeyHaileyB. If you have any questions that I did not cover today, please make sure you comment below, and I will see you guys next time.